Welcome. Take It Up with Jessica Lee. I'm here with Valerie Jones, who's the VP of Marketing at Broadridge. Broadridge is in the Fintech business, does a lot of the ETFs trades. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. So right now, with the volatility in the marketplace, you're really busy right now, I assume, right, Valerie?
Yes, yes. We actually process $4 trillion of trades per day.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And you're doing the marketing. In particular, you spearheaded the ABM, account-based marketing initiative, and you've seen tremendous results. I just want to throw it out there that your marketing strategy has generated like 200% of the leads and 300% more on the web traffic. In particular, with the ABM accounts that you're targeting, you're getting 400% more traffic. So some amazing results, and the audience would love to hear the tips and best practices around marketing and ABM in general.
Sure, I'd love to. So I'll explain the whole account-based marketing process. The primary benefit of account-based marketing is that marketing and sales come closer together. And I think, historically it was marketing over here and sales over here. And oftentimes sales just saw marketing as the people that have all the giveaways or they're the ones that do all the advertising. And now the latest trend in marketing is for sales, especially in the B2B space, is for sales and marketing to work very closely together. So step one in account-based marketing is to sit down with the salespeople and really truly understand what are the markets, who are the accounts that they are trying to focus on, and then building a plan, whether it be digital, offline, direct mail, but a plan to go after the key decision makers and the influencers at specific organizations with specific solutions.
Mm-hmm. Talk to us about the use of some of the sites like Facebook, LinkedIn, Google. Certain platform is better for top of mind versus middle. Top of funnel versus middle, and down bottom of funnel.
Right. So first off is Facebook. I think a lot of B2B marketers discount Facebook because they feel, it's an entertainment platform. It's where people go in and socialize. But an interesting tool that Facebook provides is that you can show really inexpensive video, and then you can find out the people that have expressed an interest in your product. So in essence, you can you can do a fairly large, broad scope, and then target just people that came to your website. Therefore, you're not spending a whole bunch of money doing spray and pray. You're focusing on people with a particular interest. But we didn't use Facebook for account-based marketing, mostly because it's really difficult to get to the account level on Facebook. And instead, we focused a lot on LinkedIn. And as you know, with LinkedIn, you can upload a customer list, and then you could target only those people within those accounts that you're focusing on that you've predetermined with sales. Target just them and target them with the right messaging depending on the audience, and then driving them down the funnel and repeat getting more focus information the more you visit. Another tool that I used was Demandbase. And what Demandbase does is they do an IP lookup. So they look up, before you come to a website, let's say you're going to CNN, before you get to CNN, it actually looks up your IP and it says, oh, Val, you're from Broadridge. Let's target you with information we built specifically for Broadridge. And then when they click on the ad in LinkedIn or in Demandbase with a display, then they come to a landing page, again, built specifically for that account.
Nice.
So what that means is that, the marketing spend is being very focused on only the people you want and only the products that you're not currently selling into that account. So it becomes very effective and very targeted.
But your cost per acquisition is over $1,000. So this is not something you can spend on all of your prospects, but very large accounts. So how do you come to the calculation of or who are the accounts, what you're going to spend on, and targeting that and really measuring all the way to the closing of the deal.
So for typical B2B marketers, I think it's really important that you look at the present value of the lifetime value of the customer. So in e-commerce and B2C, right, you know that if you're selling a dress or shoes and you're making $10 on the pair of shoes, you don't want to spend much beyond, let's say, $8. You want to give yourself a margin. But in the B2B space, you really have to look at the lifetime value and find out how much is that client worth to capture, and therefore figure out a return on marketing investment to actually get them, because you can afford to spend more money, right? Because you got to look at that client will hopefully be with you for a longer period of time. So you can afford to what I call warm the base or drive them down the buying funnel.
I see. It's not just like the contract you could get and justify your marketing spend on that contract, but that contract over the many years of the relationship.
Exactly. I remember when I was in the wireless business, way back, we were selling a phone that was worth $500, but we were spending $600 to get them, either through store or through online. But then we realized that over time, we were willing to take the lifetime value over 5 years and say the lifetime value over 5 years is $2,000. Therefore, we felt comfortable spending $600 to get them, even though we're not going to make any money on them for the first couple of months.
Yes, I see. Talk to us about trying different content or different sources of where you actually find prospect, because you never know until you try.
Exactly. It's all about test, optimize, test. An example that we talked about earlier that I really thought was funny was that they found that on golf sites, it wasn't golf resorts or golf equipment that pulled the best. It was actually toys. And the researchers thought, well, how could toys for kids pull the best on golf sites? And they figured out the psychology behind it was that when the guys, the men, the husbands, the dads are on the golf site looking around, they were feeling guilty that they weren't spending time with their kids. So they clicked on the toy ad. And I think that just goes to show is that you never really know, you never really fully understand the psyche around a website visitor and what they're going to spend time on and what they're going to click on. And it's really important that you test, try, and optimize. At Broadridge, what we find is the best pulling content for us is artificial intelligence. And I found that to be very interesting. It seems that any piece of content that has AI in it gets clicked on far better than any other category. And Broadridge's platform is the ABCDs of innovation. So it's artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud, and digital. And it seems to me that artificial intelligence is a lot more something that corporations and financial institutions can use today. And that cloud may be, online, maybe it's a little bit more vague for them, so they don't click on that. But our audience is very interested in learning more about AI. So who would have known unless we tried it?
Yeah, I think that with the machine trading algorithms now, it's something that people are aware it's an edge. So I can see how AI is a very hot topic for people who want to gain edge in trading.
For sure.
Valerie, I think people have very short attention span nowadays. They're just getting bombarded with messages. One area that's very engaging, I think, is in the video. As you know, I'm doing video. So I wanted to ask you about your program that you've been testing out, the snackable videos.
Yes. So one thing that's really, really important is that video on websites research has shown that it dramatically increases your search results in organic search, and it dramatically increases conversion rates on landing pages. So video like that in and of itself is critically important to the success of digital marketing. But one thing that we've been testing is something I call snackable videos. And they're snackable in that they're about 30 seconds long. And as you said, the attention span is so short. I mean, you just watch your kids, right? They move from different music songs from one to another. They're in the YouTube world where they just click and see more and more. Well, that's affecting the older population as well. And the other unique thing is that in Facebook and LinkedIn and even on syndicated content, you'll see the videos automatically stream. So somebody that's moving immediately grabs somebody's attention. And then when you have the copy coming over the bottom, people in the office place can listen to it, but in other places where they have the headsets on, they click on the on sound button, and then they get a quick overview, because the price of a click is high, right? You need to be able to convince somebody to click that learn more button or click that buy now button. And what better way to do that is in 30 seconds to tell them why. And we've had phenomenal success with that. Not only driving people to our thought leadership and our articles, but we've found that the video completion rates are super high. And that's because it's 30 seconds, one of it, but it's because people want quick, snackable pieces of information. Another interesting thing about video is that we can also set up in LinkedIn and in Facebook the ability to retarget, well, not retarget, but to target only those individuals that watched our video. Because the video, the 30-second is building awareness. And then as you're driving them down the funnel, maybe they'll want to see an infographic. And then when you're driving them to the consideration stage where they're thinking about buying, then you're going to put more detailed information, like maybe a white paper or a comparison chart. So the video is a really nice top of the funnel marketing methodology.
Cool. I'm glad that you're testing that out and seeing some positive results. So you're going to be investing more in these digital marketing initiatives that seem to be working, video content.
Yeah, and it's very cost effective because you can do, so when you pay, minor detail, but I think it's important, you can pay a videographer a flat rate for a day, and then you just cycle in and you can get, if you're doing 30-second videos, you could theoretically get 10 to 20 videos in one day. And then you have an inventory that will last you 6 months.
Valerie, one area that I think is worth investing a lot is in SEO and the organic search, because once you invest the money, the effort into creating the content to attract visitors, you don't have to keep on paying them. What do you do on the organic search front?
So one thing I thought was very interesting is that there's a direct correlation between paid search and organic search. And it literally, you can see the chart going up at the same time, that the more you spend, the more organic you get people to go there. Now, a pessimist might say, well, that's because you're paying and Google's going to put you at a higher level. But the non-pessimist might say, well, that's because you're training your audience. So when they go to search and your ad, the Google AdWords comes up or Google advertising comes up, the person will see it. They may not remember it, but in the back of their head, they'll see it, so that the next time they do a search, the brand recognition for Broadridge or for your company is higher. So the direct correlation could be like because of Google, but really, I think a strong reasoning is because you're building up awareness, you're building up your brand, you're demonstrating to your audience that you're willing to spend the money to get people to come to your site. So therefore, you must be a really legitimate player in that space.
Valerie, during this COVID-19 pandemic, everybody has to shelter in place. And then now with the racial tensions and protests and demanding for social justice, these conversations are really top of mind. Even for business leaders, I'm sure this is something that's top of mind. And I'm wondering, how do these current topics that are taking place affecting your marketing strategy, the content that you produce, or the language that you use? Have you modified because of these topics?
But in terms of our marketing, I think that our language has become quite a bit softer. We haven't been, we're less likely to do a hard push on, buy now. And also I read a stat is that most of the imagery being used online, and the same goes for me, is that we're not showing people together. We're showing people separately as individuals using technology. And then in our advisor practice, we have advisor solutions. We have, we've been promoting a number of tools to help the advisors develop closer relationships with their investors through digital technologies. So we have had to modify quite a bit. And for a little while, we basically stopped marketing to really, so that we could understand the marketplace a little bit better.
Yeah, I think right now is the beginning of going back to the previous quarter, right? People are starting to go out, stores are opening up, and people are starting to gather a little bit more. So I think that even with the opening of the economy again, a lot of us will just remain shelter in place for a while. So your marketing is going to stay this way, and then it will shift once the activity interaction is back to 100%.
Yes, yeah. And really with Broadridge is we sell technology to help people, do their jobs better or accomplish more. And, we're in a good position to say we're here to help, because we truly are, because we can provide the tools that they need to do, to do their jobs effectively from home.
Okay. Measurement is not easy. Tracking, figuring out the ROI and all of that is not easy. How are you doing that?
Yeah, so measurement and attribution is kind of the thorn in marketers' side for sure. And I think the most important discovery that I've made through using syndicated content, Facebook, LinkedIn, email, events, all of those things, I think it's really important to apply the right goals to the right tactic at the right time. So I mentioned before about the customer buying funnel. So top of the funnel is all about awareness. So if people aren't clicking on your ad and you're not getting a conversion, that's okay, because it's really about how many eyeballs are seeing the content. But it's important that once you get to the consideration stage down that funnel, is that that's when you measure it based on how much does it cost to acquire a customer or to get them to fill out a form. So the really big takeaway from this is that look at the tactic, look at the goals, and don't change your mind partway through. If you're just building awareness, don't have somebody say to you, wow, your conversion rate was 0.005. That's no good. It's important to say that my goal was to get a bunch of people into the awareness funnel, and then now I'm going to target them again and bring them down the buying funnel. So Facebook, for example, is inexpensive. Google AdWords, syndicated content is not expensive. Google AdWords may be more expensive, but for example, Google AdWords, they're typing in, I'm looking to buy artificial intelligence and financial services. They use long phrases often, and that means that they're close to the consideration stage, so they're considering buying. So it's worthwhile paying a little bit more for that kind of result. So right channel, right place, right message, and attribute the right goal to where you're going.
Gosh, just a full-time job, just analyzing all of that data.
No, it is for sure.
Yeah.
And then it's sitting back and you look back and you go, wow, that was expensive. And then you go, wow, but it resulted in these 2 leads. So maybe it was worthwhile, right? So
Yes.
It's a bit of a juggling act, and it requires a lot of discipline too.
So you love marketing, I take it, all that exciting opportunity to test and try out and like, aha, this worked.
Yes, yeah. I did a video, and I started the video, and my cousin, thousands of miles away, connected with me on Facebook and said, "I've been seeing you on YouTube." It was so funny because it just knows that you're having an impact and that people are seeing it and you're going in the right place.
Yes, well, this has been a great conversation, and I do appreciate you sharing the tips and best practices for marketing, especially the account-based marketing. So thank you so much, Valerie, for being on the show.
Great, thank you.
There you have it. Take it up with Jessica Lee, Valerie Jones from Broadridge.